Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake. Alongside me, Steven, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, the guy who does a Let's Play, but then cancels the Let's Play live series so that he can do another live series of a game that he found and yeah, something like that. That's your new favorite accolade.
So title card for when you edit, title card needs about this much room.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, give it the space. So anyway, Steven, you feel so far away from me today.
Yeah, you are the size of my thumb on my screen.
Yeah. We're trying a new setup with the podcast studio where I'm using the computer that's here to Skype Steven in, and it's way over there instead of normally like right here on my iPad. So Steven's way over yonder.
Yes, obviously, I'll have to send my opinions over by carrier pigeon. So.
Yes, please do. I'll be looking out for them. I'll have my carrier pigeon Phil be on the lookout.
Phil the carrier pigeon. Got it.
If you didn't know, this is Chortle Cast, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. And we've got a light week for you, but some fun topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about Overcooked 2, Phantom Doctrine. We're going to be talking about James Gunn not returning to Marvel, but what he could be doing at other studios. We're also going to be talking about Fallout 76 and Diablo 3 coming to Switch. Blizzard finally making their way over to the Switchland, as they say.
Switzerland,
as they say. Very good.
There you go.
But yeah, so we got a good show. It's going to be great. This show happens every Friday, 12 o'clock Central Time. You can be a part of the show by writing in to us at chortlecast@gmail.com. You can send us topics, news stories that you want to hear about. We also have a Discord that you can get a part of. I've got a special channel on the Discord where you can submit topics for discussion for the podcast. And then you can always reach us on our social media platforms. That's Twitter @ChortleGames and Facebook @ChortleGames, and let us know what topics or news stories you'd like to hear us talk about on the podcast. So yeah, you can be a part of the show. We love having you a part of the show. So you can do that in those ways. Now, we're going to get started with what we always do at the beginning of the show, Steven, which is catch-up.
I love ketchup.
That was a ketchup, you know what I'm saying? Like when you get the ketchup and it just doesn't come out and you gotta squeeze it. You're trying to get that last little bit and it's like,
Okay, so what you're saying is that today's segment is like us beating the back end of the bottle for things to talk about.
Well, when you beat it, it doesn't make the. It's like when the bottle's really empty and you're just trying. You get that. You can see it. Like you can see the little bit of ketchup that's in there, and you're trying to get it out and you're squeezing it. It's just.
So we're not quite there yet to where we have to beat it out of the back.
No.
Okay.
Never. We're never beating it out the back. Hey. All right, Steven, what have we been playing? This is the segment where we talk about what we've been playing. I've been playing Overcooked 2, and you've been playing a lot with me.
I have.
What did you think about it?
I love it. I'm probably going to pick it up, but I'm debating whether or not it's going to be on PS4 or on Switch when I inevitably get my Switch. I've mentioned before that.
Well, I have it on both of those platforms, so I'll play it with you wherever you want to play it.
Okay.
So
I've mentioned before that I'm getting a Switch. My plan is to get a Switch before Thanksgiving so that I can take it on a very long 12.5-hour road trip with my family.
Right.
And I don't know, it just sounds like a lot of fun with my 5 siblings playing Overcooked in the car. That just sounds like a really good time. So Anna will be there too, so she can play with us. But no, that'll be a lot of fun.
That will be fun. That will be a lot of family fun there. There's a lot of good games on the Switch, Steven. We got to talk and get you a list together. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Overcooked 1 was a lot of fun. It's a great Let's Play game. It's a great party game. In fact, I was on a shoot this weekend overnight, and the coworker that was with me, we shared a hotel room, and so I hooked up the Switch to the TV and was just playing. And they were like, "Hey, can I play this too?" And so we jumped in and we burned through a ton of levels on my Switch version of the game. I tried not to pressure too hard to 3-star everything because I didn't want to make them not enjoy it. But we actually 3-starred a couple things on our own, so without much pressure. So I'm proud of my coworker. But anyway, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's the best kind of sequel that just improves upon an already really enjoyable game and just makes it better by, like, you know, bringing out the better qualities of the already good things, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
it just seems like it's a game that's better in every way. Like, it's the right kind of sequel.
Yeah, the throwing mechanic is great. The new levels are great. I feel like the worlds are a lot more hectic.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more happening on some of the levels. Like, there was that one level, that hot air balloon level that you and I played, Steven. I don't know if we captured that in any way, but basically you start in a hot balloon and fire starts dropping. Next thing you know, the whole hot air balloon drops and you're in another kitchen and suddenly you're making sushi, but you hadn't been making sushi before. So it's a lot of hectic parts that are moving instead of just like a platform shifting once or twice. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's much easier to play in single player mode. I've been 3-starring levels on my own, which was something I could not do in the first version. So, it's still a fun game to play, even if you don't have friends. But you can also play online now, so there's more opportunity to have friends. So, it's a great game. If you haven't picked it up, if you got a PlayStation or a Switch, I highly recommend. And it's pretty cheap. It's not a full price game. So
right.
And then Steven, you've been playing a little bit of Phantom Doctrine. Played a little bit last night.
I played a lot of bit of it
stream.
yesterday.
Yeah.
On Thursday, and oh man, this whole time, on Tuesday I got the game, and for those of you that don't know, Phantom Doctrine is I forget who the developer is, but it's a new turn-based tactical game in the vein of XCOM, but it's
what's XCOM? I've never heard of that.
Shut up. We're not doing that.
Is that like a website?
No, Jake, it's not a website.
It's a type of domain, like .com. Now we have XCOM.
Why are you like this?
I don't know. I'm everybody's favorite character, Steven, so just, you know.
Well, I'm everyone's favorite person. That's all that matters.
That's true.
But it's like XCOM in the sense that it's turn-based tactical. You're controlling an organization, and you can customize all of the characters within the organization. But it's Cold War era spies, so it takes place in the 80s, and you can play as either the CIA or the KGB. And it's, oh man, like on Tuesday when I started playing it, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. There's something here, but I had no idea what was going on. Right. It was super overwhelming. And then when I played it on Thursday, it clicked for me. It finally was like, I get it. I understand. I learned how to build things. And so now I can build all the different facilities. I can customize all my agents now. It was a 7 for me. In one day, it went up to an 8 to 8.5.
Yeah.
Just because I started unlocking the deeper things within the game. I'm not going to go too deep into it as to what you can do because, honestly, I haven't gotten very far. But also, if all went well last night, fingers crossed, I'm going live about an hour and a half from recording this right now, then it's our new series.
Right,
so,
for Thursdays.
So I'm not going to talk too much on it here so that I can save a lot of stories for the future podcasts to talk about what we've done.
Can you tell the one story that you text me briefly
about
Tyler? Yeah.
Okay, so a friend of mine, his name's Tyler. He's been on the channel once or twice. But I made him as my first character when I started customizing people. I made him. And agents in this game, in XCOM you've got soldiers, engineers, and scientists. But in this game you just have agents.
Right.
So agents can do anything.
Yeah.
Right. They can be on the field. They can manufacture things. They can research. So Tyler, I was like, what's a good first job for Tyler? I know, making counterfeit money. So I put Tyler in the base, and he's just making counterfeit bills. He's giving the agency money because we kind of operate outside of the law in a lot of ways.
Right.
But you know, we save people. That's what I'm telling myself. But he's my money guy. So
right.
So eventually, I get a message that says this organization is targeting Tyler. Sweet Tea is his nickname. We're gonna call him Sweet Tea. They're targeting Sweet Tea.
I love it.
For recruitment. And they say they've got blackmail on him. So I had two options. One option was make a fake ID. You spend $500 of the company's money, which isn't that much, to basically re-customize him again to give him a new identity so that he could kind of disappear.
Right.
Or just tell him they're bluffing. And so I was like, hey, money guy, I know you make hundreds and hundreds of dollars for this company, but I'm not going to fork over $500 for your safety, so they're bluffing. It's fine. And then, everything was fine. I thought we were good. And then, like, 20 minutes later, I get another message that says, turns out that organization wasn't bluffing. They found Sweet Tea and beat the crap out of him. He's in the hospital. And so I looked back at the infirmary, and sure enough, Tyler's in the infirmary for, like, a month because they, like, broke his legs.
Oh, my God.
So I've got no more money counterfeit making until he gets out of the hospital. And I learned my lesson, just make the fake ID next time. But that's what I love about this game.
Just
that's why
spend the $500 to keep your people safe. That's the lesson.
Exactly. That's one of the things I love about this game, though, is that there's really cool stuff that you wouldn't expect to happen. And there's moments where you're just like, oh, shoot, that's a thing. One thing I saw that I can't do yet is when you dismiss agents, there's a chance that they could be a mole. And if they've been a mole, they will go work for the enemy. And they'll give intel to the enemy, and then you could end up fighting them later on. And so the safest way to disband agents, and he just told me this, like, nonchalantly. It was like, yeah, it's probably the safest thing to brainwash with the MK Ultra project before you disband agents. And I'm just like, I don't have that. I know what that is, but dang. So, like...
Dang.
You can brainwash agents. You can brainwash agents, give them to the enemy, and then activate their code word in a mission, and then bam, they're a sleeper agent working for you, and the enemy thinks that they're still working for the enemy, and so you've got an inside guy. Like, there's just levels upon stuff you can do in this game, and that's what I love about the fact that I haven't played this before. Right. Like the amount I've played is a few hours, just long enough to understand it enough to where I'm not getting us killed long term in the stream. But once I start the stream, it's going to be
time.
It's go time. It's all new to me, and so we're gonna get to experience this stuff together, and I'm so excited. Can't wait to brainwash Brody into being a sleeper agent for the enemy faction.
Please do.
What would Brody's activation word be if he was a sleeper agent?
Oh God, it'd probably be like farts or...
It can't be something that's said too often because then he would just keep activating and deactivating. So it's like... I don't know. I'll think on that.
I feel like there's a very obvious, like, hilarious word that Brody says or he finds really funny. Yeah. Ringer in my rut. That's what it should be. I don't know how.
That is the perfect activation code for it.
It is.
Oh my God.
And Miles would have to say it, so.
If that happens, I'm gonna definitely, if I can choose what the activation is.
Please make it that. Please make it that. Okay, wow. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to catch that stream, if this is the first thing you're watching, the first episode was this past Thursday, the 16th of August. So next week on whatever that time is, next Thursday, will be the next episode, and it will continue until we hit the end. So not exactly sure how that looks since Steven has never played this before. We're all experiencing this for the first time. So,
but that's the fun of it.
The fun of it, though, is that we can create you, the viewer, we can make you a character in the game. So if you want to be a part of it, Steven, what do they need to give you for this?
It's a little
different.
It's different. All you need to do is kind of give me a general appearance idea, a name, and a code name. Your code name will be your prevailing name. Like Tyler, I put his full name, but he went by Sweet Tea.
Right.
So like the name you will see
when you have to change their ID, does their name stay the same or their code name change?
I think you just have the option to change it. I don't think that you have to change either one.
I gotcha. Okay, cool. So, submit a name, a code name, any kind of appearance things you want, and then we'll roll on. Remember, you're a spy working for the Chortle Intelligence Agency.
Nice. And if there is any preferred branch, because like the class system, there's not really a class system. It's more of a origin system. Like my guy in my playthrough is ex-CIA. So he's got certain weapon proficiencies and certain class things that he can do. But then you've got U.S. Marines, you've got Navy SEALs, French special forces. Good Lord. So if there's any preference there, let me know. I don't even know what the options are.
Tune into a stream. Let Steven help you create your first character, get a part of it, be a part of it. We did this with XCOM where people created their own soldiers. So we need to bring some of the XCOM characters in, like. So we'll have to do a little bit of that. But anyway, that's all good and fun. That's what we're doing on Thursdays. Was there anything else we've been playing? I think I've just been overcooking it all week.
I've been playing a good bit of Divinity Original Sin.
Oh yeah, we did a live stream of that last Friday.
Yeah, that was not the best, just because that game is such a deep dive.
It is very deep.
But like, it's kind of like Phantom Doctrine, to where once that game clicks, it's like, oh my god, I get it now. This game is amazing, and that kind of happened with me, because it's a really slow start. It's a really hard start, but I feel like online co-op for that game would be amazing. Split screen co-op's just too much. It's too hectic. There's too much going on screen. But no, it's good. I'm really glad I got it, and I'm going to be playing it some more. Maybe something in the future on the channel. I don't know.
Awesome. All right, let's talk about some news. So I'll kick us off with, I guess, I don't know if it's the biggest news this week, but like a lot of people are pretty excited about it. Diablo 3 is coming to Switch. I think it was Forbes broke the embargo accidentally and like announced this early. But now it's official. Diablo 3 is coming to Switch. We don't have a release date, but
this year.
It's supposed to, I think they're shooting for autumn, is what they said.
Fall of this year, yeah. Was all we got.
So, which that's pretty close. I mean, that's like in the next couple months. So that's exciting. Interesting though, because correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the first Blizzard games to come to Switch.
I believe so.
If it's not the first, it can't be more than the second. I don't think.
No, it's probably the first.
So that's exciting, and a lot of people, interviewing Blizzard after about it, were asking, okay, y'all are doing this for Switch. What's the possibility of Overwatch or Starfleet, or what is it called, StarCraft? StarCraft 2. What are the odds of those coming? So basically this was the guy who worked on Diablo 3. He was saying that it's feasible, like it could be done, that Overwatch could come to Switch. Like he thinks it would be able to run if they just tweaked a few things. But StarCraft he didn't think could do it. But he also mentioned that the Overwatch team would have to make that decision to put it over. And we've heard a lot from... names are escaping me today. I can't think of who the main guy for Overwatch
Reggie?
is.
Oh,
no.
I thought you were talking about Reggie.
Reggie Fils-Aimé from Overwatch, no. Shoot, Brody would be killing me right now. Oh, well, anyway, the main guy over the Overwatch team, I'm trying to think of his name, and I can't. And it's going to bug me. I've got to look it up. Kaplan, something like that. Steven.
I don't know anything about Overwatch except for the lore. I know the lore surprisingly
Sing a shanty while Jeff Kaplan. That's it, Jeff Kaplan. Thank you. All right. So Jeff has been quoted before saying that they basically aren't working to bring it to the Switch. Yeah. So it's interesting to hear from another developer at Blizzard saying they could do it if they wanted to. It's just their decision to do it. So
yeah, I think that it's a bit unfair to expect games like StarCraft on the Switch.
Right.
Because let's be honest, there's not a market for it. Not yet.
Right.
StarCraft players are on PC, and StarCraft players are the definition of PC Master Race people. Right. So that's a huge money sink for them to make a project to bring StarCraft especially. And for Overwatch, I just don't think... Like, Diablo makes sense. It's a couch co-op focused game, and Nintendo is all about connecting with people locally, with online as something that they're pushing towards. Right. But I don't think they're there yet. And so Overwatch not being on it yet is not surprising, and I don't know if it's time.
Right. I don't know that it's time yet either. I think it would be cool to have them bring it to the Switch, but I do think that I don't know if that audience. Well, I guess there's probably a pretty sizable amount of people who would play it on Switch, but you're right. It's not. Switch is not meant to be an online device as much as a PlayStation or a PC or an Xbox or anything else. So it would be more difficult to do. But
yeah. Diablo makes perfect sense.
I was about to say we've branched off on some other topics about it. What are you excited for Diablo coming to Switch, Steven? As someone who's gonna. So what? I've never played Diablo 3, so you were real excited about this topic. So you dive in about what's great about this game because I got nothing.
So Diablo is like one of the biggest action loot RPGs out there. Like Borderlands learned from Diablo, Division, and pretty much any console or like MMO Lite learned from Diablo. Like it's kind of the first.
Okay.
The art style is really cool. The story's really neat because it's about angels and demons, and in my opinion, it's got the coolest iteration of angels in any pop culture reference ever. Demons too, but it's just a really epic story. It's really fun to play with friends. The end game is still good because even though the story takes a while to beat, there's a lot to do after the story. It feels like an MMO Lite, even though it's not.
Right.
I've conquered this game on PC. I've conquered it on PS4. There's a lot of build options. Like this is especially in endgame. You know how sets work in Division.
Right.
That they got that from Diablo.
Gotcha.
So, for example, my monk on Diablo, my pride and joy on PS4 Diablo, the monk is normally a fast-hitting, dexterous class that can do some team support. But with the armor that I've got, he can summon this mystic ally, which is like an elemental shade of him. But because of this armor, he can have, I think, 5 of them. So 1 for each element. And then he's got a ring that makes it to where he gets 2 instead of 1. So he gets 10.
Oh, my God.
So it's me as my monk running around with elemental shades of myself, beating the crap out of everything. And that's a build option that's there. Right. Even though it's like, when you think monk, you think of this play style. But I'm over here and I'm like, I'm a summoner monk.
Yeah.
And you can do that. And that's what's so cool about it is that it blends the casual with being as in-depth as you want it to be.
Right.
And it just hits a lot of the right notes. And if I get a Switch, when I get a Switch, I'm going to be picking up Diablo because playing Diablo on the go sounds about like the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Because it's such a good game for mobile play. It really is.
Well, awesome. Well, yeah, that's exciting. I may have to pick it up for Switch just to join you and check it out. So
please do.
Speaking of some online games, Fallout 76 also had a couple announcements this week. Miles was telling us about a couple details they were talking about, but one of the big things that struck out is they are trying to incorporate private servers so that people can continue to mod the game. So Fallout, Skyrim, a lot of Bethesda's games, a core element is the modding. People will mod. The Randy Savage Dragon is a hilarious mod. There's the
greatest mod.
What's the train?
Thomas the Tank Engine
Thomas
Dragons.
the Tank Engine Dragons. Stuff like that. People love to mod these games and just take them, as far as they can go. So they want to continue to incorporate that in 76. So they are working, and obviously with an online game where several people are in the world, affecting the world, modding it could potentially mess that up. So they said they're dropping in private servers to alleviate that. Now, when I first saw the headline, private servers, I thought, great. Me and Steven, we can launch a private server, make it private, and it's just me and Steven. We're online, we're multiplayer, but we're playing the game, we're having a great time. No one's coming to screw us over like in Sea of Thieves. But then I read the rest of the article, and it was talking just about mods. Like, no one mentioned private, play. So, but Steven, you still think it could have that sort of element to it?
I think it's implied that private server means you create a server, and that is your server, and it's locked to because you can't have the mods without that, because unless if it's something like some PC games where it's like once you join a server it downloads the mods for you.
Right.
But even then, no game that does that is restricted to just public servers.
Right.
So it is going to be possible, even if it's just on PC, which is a possibility.
Well, it's not. Is it coming to PC? Because it's not on the Steam store.
I thought it was. I thought.
I think it may be, but I just remember them saying it's not going to be listed in the Steam store. Maybe it's just the beta, but I could be wrong.
There's no. It's got to be coming to PC. Because if it wasn't, I would have heard complaints.
There were some people pretty frustrated about it, but I'm not sure if it was just because it was the beta or what. But you keep talking. I'm going to look it up real quick.
But point is, even if it's just on PC, private servers are almost certainly going to be a thing. I don't know if they're going to be dedicated, or I don't know if there's going to be private servers on console, because that might be a little bit more of an undertaking. Because it does seem like it'd be easier to streamline with like dedicated servers if you just made it to where every server was open. But I don't know. Either way, I'm probably not getting it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, so one of my primary concerns with it is it being another Sea of Thieves situation where I'm getting on and I'm just something for other people who play the game more to pummel, and I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do in the game, which there's an audience for that, and I totally respect that. That's your thing that you want to do, but I don't want to do that. I want to experience the game. So I don't know if I'll get it, but knowing that I have the option to make a private server where not everyone is going to be in there trying to mess me up or whatever,
that would help.
That would be nice. Or even, and this may be like a semi-private server, but like a server where everyone who was in it was under the agreement that like we're not going to just go around killing each other.
Such things exist. People make those servers, and then if there is any player killing that happens, they get banned.
Yeah. See, I think that would be an exciting thing to do. I'm trying to figure out. I think it's just not going to be on Steam, but it still will be able to be played on PC.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know how that works, but sure, we'll go with that.
Bethesda might be starting their own Steam /Origin/Uplay.
Who knows? They may. That's the thing to do nowadays. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about James Gunn. So, we talked a few podcasts ago about how James Gunn, and it was a big news story. So I'm sure you've heard something about it. But basically, he was fired by Disney from being the director of Guardians 3. He's been director of the last two. For some tweets, some raunchy, saucy tweets that were inappropriate, and he was fired for those. They were 10-year-old tweets. There's a lot of people argued, he should be given a second chance. The cast eventually coming out with a letter calling for his reinstatement. Yada yada yada. It's been a big thing. Steven signed a petition that had like millions of signatures from fans saying, they're not like they think he's moved beyond whatever and wanted him reinstated. So James Gunn met with Alan Horn, who's Disney Studio chairman, and they met, and I'm sure there were some other people in attendance to that meeting. Kevin Feige was not. He was out of town, so he was not there. He's one of the core directors of Marvel Studios. Anyway, basically, they had a civil and professional conversation, sources say, and basically Horn just decided he still didn't want to change his mind. So, the firing was obviously official, but there's been some underlying hope at this point by Steven and myself included in that he might still be reinstated. But I think at this point, those can kind of be laid to rest. Like, this is kind of the final say. It's not happening. So Kevin Feige wasn't there, but it has been reported that he wanted James to be brought back, but that he stands by the studio's decision. to keep him out. So kind of stinks. I really hoped, especially with as much fan support and the full cast support. Who's the guy that plays Drax? I can
Dave
see
Bautista.
Dave Bautista. He's gone so far as to say, like, if they don't use his script, he's out. Like, he will break his contract and leave if they don't use James Gunn's script. So he's really frustrated about it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he left after 3 for whatever reason. But just crazy. But one door closes, another door opens. DC has kind of been hunting him a little bit, and as sad as it is to see him leave Marvel, that's pretty exciting to think that we could one day have a DC movie directed by him. The guy who made a raccoon and a talking tree cool, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I've seen some people posting, like, what would be some cool movies from DC's library that James Gunn could direct. And Steven, you and I are pretty big DC guys. We like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I used to be bigger.
We've become more Marvel guys just because Marvel is doing so awesome in the movies right now. But
right.
Let's just kind of. I've got some that I've seen on a bunch of other people's, but they were kind of like top of my list anyway of what he could do.
Yeah.
But let's just kind of do kind of a back and forth of what would be like a dream thing for him to make. I'll go first if you don't mind.
Go.
I've seen this a lot of places, and it would be kind of weird because they're doing a series on their streaming service, but Swamp Thing. Do a Swamp Thing movie directed by James Gunn. Very weird character. He's getting more and more popular right now. I think it would be perfect. But the issue with that is they are doing something with the streaming service that's a Swamp Thing show. I don't know if it's live action or animated, but the other thing about that is James Gunn has said he wants to work with Swamp Thing and do something with it. So that would be a really cool one. But you seemed like you went straight somewhere. So what do you got?
So the first 2 that popped into my head, I don't even know that much about them, but like they were the first ones that jumped, and I saw that IGN said the same thing. Doom Patrol and Metal Men.
So I have never heard of the Metal Men. So I literally know nothing about them. But Doom Patrol also has a show in the works on the streaming service. So I don't know that is. I feel like that falls in the same category as Swamp Thing.
Doom Patrol probably fits best with the Guardians hole that that he would fill. But Metal Men is like a group of robots designed by this creator, and the robots all have these special abilities, and they fight crime or something like that. The only experience
Tornadoes, Red Tornado's not one of those, right?
I don't think different. So, no.
Okay.
Yeah, different robot.
I know the creator of Red Tornado. He also created a bunch of other villains, and Red Tornado was kind of a mistake. But anyway, I digress. Go continue.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I don't think that any of them. So my only experience with those characters comes from when I read Justice League Year One, which was like a '90s series about the formation of the Justice League, and they had an issue in there, and they were really cool. And I don't know, it makes sense. I think the Doom Patrol was actually in there too. So I think both of those.
That's your experience with them.
Yeah, but it's just weird enough. Where I could totally see him doing something with that. And Doom Patrol is a group of misfits with powers, so I mean that's basically all you need.
That's basically the Guardians, right? So there's another one that that IGN list that you probably looked at too, Dead Man, which he's a very weird character. My experience with Dead Man is also from Justice League. It's from Justice League Unlimited, and then Batman Brave and the Bold is kind of my experience with that character. But basically, he's a dead man, but his ability is he can possess the bodies of others, right? I don't know if he has any additional powers. There might be something else that goes along with that. But anyway, he's very weird. And since he's kind of in a ghost world, There's a lot of weird things that he can experience. So, but it could be a really fun deal to see, and I think James Gunn could make it work. It definitely doesn't have a group, which I think he handles really well, but it could be a fun one. So,
I think the easy answer to all of this is Green Lantern.
Right.
I think that it's got that right mix of weirdness and heart in Hal Jordan's story, especially. That, you know, Hal Jordan has a lot of parallels to Peter Quill. The Green Lanterns are basically the Nova Corps. He could make a really good Green Lantern movie, which is something DC needs.
A lot of space, so yeah.
It's something they need, and it's something he could do. And the only problem with it is that it might feel a bit contrived. Like it'd feel like a movie we've seen before, maybe.
Right.
But which, side note, we can come back to this if you want. But did you hear about the rumor with Tom Cruise?
No.
And so it's rumored right now that he is the front runner to play Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps movie.
Right.
Which, based on what we know, is going to be a buddy cop movie between Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, and Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. And Tom Cruise, this is the rumor. I don't remember who the source was. It may have been Heroic Hollywood, I think.
Yeah.
The rumor is that Tom Cruise has a condition, and that is that Hal Jordan does not die. Because apparently in the script right now, in the current treatment of the script, Hal Jordan dies. And I read that and I thought, okay, if this is true, this is awful. Because, like, you can't introduce Green Lantern being done right for the first time and then kill off the Green Lantern that everybody knows in the first movie. But whatever.
Well, that's what doesn't make sense there with me is, like, you're rebooting a franchise again, and you're going to kill the main character on the first outing, like...
Which their attempt for there is probably...
Is this Game of Thrones? What is this?
It's probably to make Jon Stewart the Green Lantern of the DCEU.
Right.
And not Hal Jordan. And do kind of a mentor-apprentice kind of relationship where Hal Jordan's the grizzled old Green Lantern and then Jon Stewart's the young up-and-comer. But I hear that and I think, no, backwards, other way. Because Hal Jordan's so much better as the young hotshot defying odds. And Jon Stewart already talks and acts like an old man. So
he is. Very much
I don't know.
So. That could be good with James directing that. I hadn't thought about that. That hits a group of eccentric characters.
Yeah. And there's just so many weird different aliens.
That are our Green Lanterns. Yeah. There's a lot.
There's a squirrel Green Lantern. His name is Chip.
I know.
He's the best.
He is. That could be really cool especially if, you know, being a buddy cop movie, if they had like a small team out of there, that could be really, really cool to look at. Another fun one that I've seen again on a couple of different things, but Booster Gold, he's a guy from the future who travels to the past to the golden age of superheroes, bringing a bunch of future tech to try to be a cool superhero. So he's I feel like he could be he's kind of a Star-Lord character a little bit, kind of like you were saying there. So I feel like James could write him really fun. He's supposed to be a funny character. I think he could be really cool doing something with that. And really, if they really wanted, I think him and Shazam could almost be a funny duo to see eventually, like in Justice League 2 or something, or whatever they go with that. That could be really, really cool.
Yeah. No, here's my dream list.
Dream list.
So like, we know Green Lantern Corps is happening.
Right.
But if they make it James Gunn directed with Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan.
Oh, God.
That's it. Because
I'm done. I can die.
Yeah, I'm done. Because he voiced Hal Jordan in one of the Justice League animated movies.
Yes.
And it's like he's perfect for it. So just give him the role. Give him roles, Hollywood. We love him.
Hollywood, why won't you give Nathan Fillion a chance?
Yes. But
he is good. So
yeah, I think that's something where it's safe enough to say that you can make a franchise out of this. You can get sequels out of this.
Right.
So his talent isn't wasted on something that is a gamble.
Right.
So I don't know. It really depends on if Hollywood considers him a selling power yet.
See, I think I think he's proven with the Guardians that he can take something that mainstream
no
audience, no one's heard of, mainstream audience may find weird, and he can make it endearing, lovable, and become a favorite of a universe instead of just somebody no one knows. So I agree with you. I would hate to see his talents go to waste, but at the same time, I'd also hate to see his talents go towards something that already could be a winner, like without,
like give somebody else a chance with the stuff that will sell.
Exactly. Like Green Lantern, people are going to know about. They know about the old movie that failed, so that it does have that running against it. But I think all that needs is it just needs somebody to come in and do it right, and maybe that is James Gunn. But I think his abilities and talents are better suited on something that no one knows about, that no one has any faith in, and he can make it work. But I don't know.
I agree, and in that end, I think that Doom Patrol or Metal Men, probably more so Doom Patrol, is kind of the perfect fit for him.
Yeah, that could be cool. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things we'd love for you to do that would help us out. Number one, if you're on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. We'd love if you would comment on this video, give it a like, tell us what you thought about the topics we've talked about, like James Gunn not returning to Marvel, what he could potentially be doing at DC. Are you getting Fallout 76? Are you excited about it? And are you going to be playing Diablo 3 on the Switch? Because we want to know. And also, for our audio listeners, we love you too. We'd love if you would write a review on iTunes. That way people can find the podcast and know that it's here and that it's great, it's good. You can rate that on there, and people will find it. As I said at the top of the show, this is a show that people can be a part of, that you can be a part of. You can do that by writing in at chortlecast@gmail.com. You can write in with news stories or topics, show topics that you'd like to hear me and Steven talk about. We also have a Discord that has a podcast suggestion channel, so you can pop in there and let us know about some news stories you'd like to hear us talk about, and things of that nature. We are also on Twitter and Facebook, both at Chortle Games, and we'd love for you to tweet us and follow us there. And yeah, so this has been a good show. Nice light week. There's not like any Smash Brother directs or Red Dead Redemption gameplay reveals or anything crazy, but a lot of good topics, a lot of good discussion. It's fun to think about what James Gunn could do next. I really like that. It's
bittersweet because I really wanted him to finish out his tenure with the Guardians. It was just a bad situation. It wasn't a good ending for Disney either way.
Yeah,
they made this bed and unfortunately, they decided to lie in it, and I'm frustrated.
I'm not getting up. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping in this bed. But yeah, we got a great show. We got a lot of great content. We don't just do the podcast, Steven. We have so much more that we do on this channel. If you are new to us, we have stuff going 6 days a week. So tonight, Friday, we're doing 2 live streams. I believe the first one is going to be a solo one with just me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm thinking I'm going to do a Switch game since we don't get to do a ton of Switch games. I might be playing some, shoot, I can't think of her name. Celeste. I might be playing a little bit of that. I may do Golf Story because I have to replay that on my Switch because I lost all my data at some point. Or I may even do Breath of the Wild. There was a Breath of the Wild was something people wanted a while back. I might do that. We'll see. Anyway, it's going to be me. And then I'm not sure what the second live stream is for Friday, but it may just be a solo with Steven, so we'll see where that goes.
I'll play something.
We'll play something. Saturday, we will probably be doing our Far Cry 5 arcade fan-made maps stream. And then following that, we will be playing Dead by Daylight with Friendly Fire Games, which we haven't done a split stream Saturday, as we like to call it, in a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been quite a while, and that part of that's been my bad. I've been traveling to and from and there and here and there and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, but we do 2 live streams every Friday and 2 lives every Saturday. So be sure to tune into that. On Monday, we'll have another Let's Play for you. It's going to be this little game called Perfect Angle, which is a fun little puzzle game. Steven and I do pretty good, and then the difficulty pretty much goes from, the difficulty was like on a really, really slight incline, and then it basically just shot straight up. It was almost like a 100-degree angle or so. It was like backwards. It was like climbing straight up and then back a little bit. It was not easy. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. We freaked out a little bit there, so you'll want to tune in for that. On Tuesdays, we do a special live stream we like to call Team Up Tuesday. So right now we're playing through Destiny. We're going to be back doing the Warmind story missions.
Yes.
I'm going to be playing as my Titan, Artemis, who we haven't seen on the stream in a long time.
I'm going to be on my Hunter, which I don't play much anymore.
So it's going to be very interesting. So if you haven't seen me play Artemis, I'm really funny, or I think I am, because I'll scream, "I'm Artemis, bitch!" anytime I do anything cool. So it's a lot of fun. Anytime, too many times, Steven might say, but I disagree, 100%. On Wednesday, we do another Let's Play. This is a fun one. Steven was really excited to do this. This is London Heist. Which is a VR title. It came out very early in the VR life cycle, but I guess I never got PS Worlds, or I had heard it wasn't great. But Steven turned me on to this one, and he was like, "It's worth it. It's worth it." So we got it. We recorded it. Steven has a good time being a gangster and all that good stuff. So you'll want to tune in and see what gangster Steven is like. Because it's quite the journey.
He's pretty hardcore.
He's pretty hardcore. And then Thursday, we'll have another Thursday, Steven does his live stream series, which is Phantom Doctrine. So
if something goes horribly wrong and you guys just despise this game, it's Phantom Doctrine. That's our new game.
That's our new game. It's our new game, folks.
Yep.
If you missed last week's or this week's stream, tune in next week for that. And then, of course, we'll have another podcast for you on Friday, not live. It goes live at 12 o'clock Central Time. That's what I was trying to say. And it's going to be another traveling Jake. So I'll be in a car, and Steven will be where he is right now still. So
I can go on a walk around my apartment complex if that'll make it tonally.
That actually might be kind of funny if you did that, but I don't know.
I'm not going to do that. I'll get shot.
We should. Well, and it's hot outside, so you probably wouldn't have very much fun doing that anyway. So it'll be a very different podcast next week, but it'll be a lot of fun. So you're going to want to tune into that. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Kevin, the dog in Overcooked, he should have been named Bacon, and he should have been a piece of bacon that looked like a dog. I'm just saying. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Okay.